A German bishop copied Rome's greatest war monument, but swapped the emperor for Jesus.
Around 1,000 years ago, Bishop Bernward of Hildesheim saw the columns of Rome and got an idea.
Rome's Trajan's column, spiraled scenes of an emperor's brutal wars, all the way to the top.
So Bernward cast a bronze column the same way, but spiraling it with the life of Christ instead.
28 scenes wind up its body, from his baptism to his entry into Jerusalem.
An emperor's monument to war, reborn as a monument to peace, and it still stands today.
One little Swiss magazine kept publishing right through the entire Nazi regime.
Across all of Europe during World War II, it was the only gay magazine still in print.
Its secret weapon? Neutral Switzerland, safely out of reach of the regime.
Printed in 3 languages, it was quietly mailed to readers all over the continent.
Long after the tanks and terror were gone, that stubborn little journal was still there.
For over 150 years, no woman had ever steered the Cambridge boat.
The university boat race is one of the oldest rivalries in sport, dating back to 1829.
The cox is the tiny person barking orders and steering while everyone else just pulls.
Oxford broke the barrier first, putting a woman in the cox seat back in 1981.
But Cambridge didn't follow until 1985, when Henrietta Shaw finally took the helm.
After more than a century and a half, Cambridge finally had its first female cox.
London's smallest pub had a wall built entirely out of glued-together books.
The Swan and Edgar in Marylebone was so small the bar filled 1/3 of the whole room.
And instead of normal tiles, the bathroom floor was paved with Scrabble letter tiles.
It opened in 1899 as the Feathers, before taking a fancy department store name.
They even held poetry nights and book signings in a room barely bigger than your living room.
Sadly, it poured its last pint in 2013, but locals fought hard to save the little legend.
Canada's very first observatory was designed by the professor it's named after.
Back in 1851, Fredericton, New Brunswick, got the first astronomical observatory in all of British North America.
A math and astronomy professor named William Bryden Jack drew up the plans himself.
Inside sat a 7-foot mahogany and brass telescope shipped over from Germany.
And in 1855, he pointed it skyward to pin down Canada's first exact longitude using telegraph signals.
One professor, one telescope, and Canadian astronomy officially had a home.
2 of history's most famous photographers are buried in a Quaker cemetery, but neither was Quaker.
The man in that grave was Robert Capa, the boldest war photographer who ever lived.
He was a Hungarian Jewish immigrant who chased the front lines of 5 different wars.
When a landmine killed him in 1954, his editor wanted a burial about peace, not violence.
So a Quaker meeting house took him in, and his brother Cornell chose to join him there.
Today, 2 non-Quakers lie forever in that quiet friend's graveyard, bound by peace, not religion.
He won both games of a doubleheader, pitching all 18 innings himself.
In 1912, he beat Kalamazoo twice in one day, giving up just 3 hits, then 5.
That arm reached the majors, where he once dueled one of baseball's greatest legends.
But when the world went to war, he traded his glove for a rifle.
Sergeant Troy was killed in the Argonne Forest in October 1918, weeks before peace.
One of only a handful of big leaguers to fall in the war, his impossible doubleheader outlived him.